The true test of a man or any person is your ability to love and to be loved and to spread love throughout the world. And that's what I want to do. And this is the vehicle I use to do that. By having people have miracles, by have them being well, is the way I can spread love and happiness and elation to more people, to allow them to feel the way that I get to feel every single day. Welcome to the Miracle Academy. This is your host, Scotty Cooper, and this is where miracles are expected. Welcome to the Miracle Academy podcast. This is your host, Scotty Cooper. Today, my special guest is me. So normally I always interview someone and kind of help ask about their life and the things that, the miracles they've seen and the way that they do that in their life. Today I thought it'd be fun to have me, because a lot of times, a lot of the people that watch this maybe don't know my whole story and all about me. So that's what I wanted to share today. For me, I think that I was blessed and very grateful to be in a family that allowed me to really grow and really achieve a lot of the things that I wanted to achieve in life. I think that I have been blessed with so many different opportunities that not everyone gets blessed with, but I think that I really want to make the most out of a lot of those opportunities. I think with being at Cooperstown Chiropractic, I got to see my parents build this business and this amazing center. And the thing is that I saw them do that, and I saw the struggle to get there. And I watched it and I thought, this is amazing what's been built. But at the same time, they had to learn everything like trial by fire, right? Like if something didn't work, they didn't really get the opportunity to have someone always teach them how to do it. They had to learn a lot of these things and make these mistakes themselves. And for me, I've really taken that to heart, because the thing is, I could talk with them or I could see what they've done, and I get an abundance of lessons learned in such a short amount of time. And so that's some of the things that I do normally, is really understanding what they did so that I can be better in the things that I do. And it's fun because it kind of translated to my purpose and the things that I want to do. And so my personal purpose is to connect people back to their true self. Now, the thing is that when I say true self, I mean a few different things. And I made it kind of vague and broad because I can do a lot of different things. So when I say true self, I mean the power of God and the power of everything and all the energy and power within, and allowing it to express itself. And so the ways I see that is through a patient, right? A patient may come in and say like, hey, so for instance, I had a lady that she came in and she said, I have asthma. And when she called, that's what she told us, is I have asthma, and that's why I want to be here. And so in our consultation, we talked and I asked her questions, and I explained to her how if there's an interference in the nervous system, the brain can't send the full message through the nerve that goes to the lungs, and it's possible that could be affecting your asthma. So what we're going to do is we're going to do an evaluation and see if that is causing it. And so we did that, and we found that. But the big thing that was interesting as we were talking, that she said to me was, well, I asked her, like, what things are these affecting? She said, well, I'm so worried to see my family because I'm afraid that I'm going to get sick, and I haven't seen my grandkids in a long time, and I haven't been able to travel. It was interesting because she's telling me this, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, wow, when you called on the phone, that's not what you said. You said you're here for asthma. But let's be honest, why are you really here? It's because you want to see your grandkids again. It's because you want to travel. It's because you want all that freedom back in your life. And so what I love is being able to connect people to seeing, like, look, this is what you told me. This is what you truly want based off what you're telling me. Let's figure out how to get there. Let's not scare you into doing things you don't want to do. Let's instead educate you and help you be able to do these things that you want. And it was funny because she told me that, and then she told me, like, she said, I love to cook for my grandkids. And I said, great, what do you love to cook? And she's like, oh, I make any type of Mexican food. I make the best. And I say, okay, great. She's like, what do you like? And I said, I love anything you're going to make me, but my favorite's chili rellenos. And she goes, okay, great. I'm going to make some for you. And it was cool because and then not only did she say that, but I was leaving the room to go get the doctor to do the exam. And she goes, I promise you, I'm going to make those for you and you're going to love it. And it was cool because when she first started, she didn't have that same attitude towards me when we started. She was just in there. She was just like, oh, it's just another appointment. By the time I left, she was ready to make me something with love and really enjoy doing it. And that was kind of the thing that I just love. And I feel like without her even getting treatment yet, we've started to connect her to the person that she wants to be. So that's the kind of the first part. The other part of my purpose I like is being able to help people that aren't necessarily patients, but maybe are students or young people that don't really know what they want to do yet. And I like to be able to help guide them to seeing like, hey, this is what is possible for your life. So just like we would for a patient in more of a health aspect, this one would be more of in the life aspect. And it doesn't have to be young people, and it doesn't have to be someone looking for their career, but I find that opportunity finds me quite often. So for anyone that's been to Cooperstown Chiropractic, they've seen that we have a lot of interns. The interns come from a lot of the local colleges like Cal State Fullerton or Whittier College or different schools. And what they do is they have to have a certain number of hours to graduate in an internship for them to be able to move on to grad school. And a lot of times they come in and they don't really know what it is they want to do yet. And they find us and they talk with me and I show them what's possible for their life. And they realize, wow, maybe chiropractic is the thing I want to do. Maybe what you guys do here is exactly what I want. And I know if anyone that's watched the podcast with Nikel, that's exactly what happened. Before she was going to come here, I think it was the week before, she went to a job interview in Chicago for a sales position for a different drug company. And she went and she was just disgusted with everything that was happening and was like, I don't want to be a part of that. Then she found us right after and said, wow, this was exactly what I wanted. And that for me is super fulfilling to being able to help people like her. The other thing that I really like to do with my purpose is I like to connect different business owners to what they're passionate about. Help guide them to seeing like, you know what? For a long time, maybe this was what I thought it was, but upon reflection and upon seeing what it truly is, this is what I love. And I've done that many times, and it's so fulfilling and rewarding for me. And so there's a doctor I'm working with right now that just started with me that she has this incredible practice, but the thing she's really passionate about is anti-aging. So she and I are working on how can we connect you to that purpose of you and help you be true to yourself and true to all the things you want to create. And it's cool because we started going over core values and purpose and mission, and just like the things that I do with my team here, I just do it in a little bit different atmosphere. And I really enjoy that, and that's really fun for me. So those are kind of the things that are my purpose. So the other thing that a lot of people probably want to know about is a lot of my journey personally. So knowing all those things, knowing about how everything started for me. So for me, I as a kid and in like high school, people would ask, like you fill out the football program and say like, hey, what do you want to be? And it was hard because I didn't really know. And, all their kids are saying like, oh, I want to be this, I want to be that, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a doctor, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't know. And then I got to college and I still didn't know. And I tried all these different majors and I felt that I was good in economics and accounting. So I kind of went into business. But what was funny was the response I always had to people when they said, what do you want to be? And I said, well, I want to be the best. That's what I want. I don't, being is not, an occupation is not being, right? That's something that you do, but being is something different. The way you are doesn't have to be tied to an occupation or to another person. And that's what I feel like a lot of people don't understand. It was funny because I said that as a kid, and now I look back and I'm like, dang, that was actually pretty smart. Like, that's awesome. And now I'm kind of seeing it more from this current lens I look through, that being is something so different than just doing and being a doctor or being something else. And the thing is that Scotty as a person is different than being the director of business. What I do at work is I direct the business. It's an action I take. It's not who I am. Who I am is different. And what's interesting is I feel like a lot of people go and try to fill their being gap with something to do. And I feel like it's interesting because I find that people that just try to fill their being gap with a doing gap, or with a doing exercise or doing activity, will never fill the gap until you change who you are and acknowledge who you are and what it is that you are and what it is that's important to you. And so what I did, so anyway, like I was saying, I decided I wanted to be the best. And what I feel like I'm really good at is sitting and listening to people and absorbing the knowledge and the things that they have to tell me. Now, the thing is, I don't have to accept everything as a premise for my life, but what I do is really take the pearls and wisdom from them and being able to speed up my process and my growth and my development by not having to make the same mistakes they necessarily made, but taking the knowledge from them and being able to grow. And so that's something that I do, and it's really important to me. And so the thing is, I go to these different conferences and I just kind of shut up and listen to what all these people say, people that have gone before me that have been really successful. And it's fun because I've done that so much and started to build this up that now people are asking me to be a guest speaker at these different things. And it's funny because it's like, well, just a couple years ago, I was sitting there. I was just listening to all these people and just being quiet and understanding and critically thinking, like, what is it they're trying to tell me? And I just totally enjoy that, and I really love that. But anyway, like I was saying, just the being versus the doing, and kind of going through, once I got through college, I was a business major. I liked that. I got out of school and I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And I still had the mentality of like, whatever it is, I'm going to compete and I'm going to be the best. And I focused on that, and nothing was really finding me. Things that like I was overqualified for were contacting me, and I'm like, you know what? I don't feel right. And my dad said, hey, why don't you come work for me? Work at Cooperstown. I was like, I don't know. Like, there's a lot of things that I see in the business that I feel like aren't where it needs to be. And I don't think that's for me. He's like, well, let's just give it a try and see if it's something you'd like. And at the time I was training to play professional football. So we had the mentality of, okay, well, why don't you help out for a little bit? And then when you get the call to play, then you can go and play. So great. So that's kind of when we started. I trained, I learned the systems, and I kind of had an outsider's perspective on things and helped guide them and guide Cooperstown. And as we kept going, I found that I enjoyed it more and more and more, to the point where I like, okay, you know what? Football is not the thing that I need to do. It was fun and I enjoyed it and I still love it, but that's not what my purpose is. And going through all that, I found, and it wasn't easy to come to that realization, because I trained for years to play professionally. I did all this work to try to get there. And then it's just one day I was like, wow, that's not truly me. What's truly me is something else. And that's what I had to really find. And I found it in different ways. I used meditation. I did it by guidance from other people. I did all these different things to help get me there. And that's kind of the big thing that I did. But when I did that, and when I really found my purpose, I found that Cooperstown was the way I was able to do that. And so I started off, like I said, just kind of helping out and being an outsider perspective and training and starting to do consultations. Then I transitioned into more of an executive team role. And then I got to the point where now I handle most of the business aspect of the business. And it's cool because with my father and I, he is the visionary of Cooperstown, where I'm the integrator. So basically what that means is that he has the big vision of what everything he wants it to be like, and then I'm the one that can actually make this big vision into actionable steps. And so we learned that from the book Rocket Fuel. It's part of the book Traction that I really like. But I really like that, and I found that that's our relationship now, and I enjoy it. I love it. It's fun, and it's cool because I get to use my purpose and the things that are important to me, helping these people heal, helping someone that doesn't know what they want to do in life, or helping other businesses being able to grow. And I love that. And it came from not knowing for a long time and just continuing to stay vigilant and being able to like work and truly take the time to find and ask myself, what is it that I want? And eventually I found it. And like I said, a lot of it was through deep meditation and prayer. A lot of it was talking with people that are really successful, that are older than me and knew more. And I just try to absorb as much as I could. And those are kind of the things that are really important to me. And now my life is really fulfilling. And this is still only the beginning. Like for me, our big goal is to have a Cooperstown chiropractic in every neighborhood, every town. And the thing is that with us continuing to grow, there's different things I have to learn and different things that I don't know yet, but I'm committed to finding those things out and being able to really make that an opportunity. Because the thing is for me, I want to see that when someone gets sick, they call my office first. They don't call urgent care. They say, hey, I have gout, what do I do? Or hey, I have asthma, what do I do? What are the different things that I can do naturally to help myself heal? And that's the kind of paradigm shift that I am seeing and that I want to see in this life. And I really want to be the person to lead that. I want to be the person that leads that charge, so that when you have a kid that's sick or that had pneumonia and you don't know what to do, that you call one of my doctors and say, hey, what do I do? And then we can help you find that. The answer might not always be us, but at least you have that coach, that accountability partner that can always guide you on where to go and help you make the best decisions, so you don't have all these crazy side effects that other people have. So for us, really creating those miracles and creating that freedom for others is what I'm all about. And the thing is it comes from a place of love, and it comes from a place of how can I make the world better, and not from anything else. And what's interesting is when I was in college, I had this conversation with someone, and they asked, not really a philosophical guy, but he said, what do you feel like the true test of a man is? And I said, all right, well, what do you think? I didn't answer him. I said, what do you think? I want to hear what you say first. And through his particular lens, this was what his answer was. I don't necessarily think it was right, but he said, I think providing for a family and being able to hunt and fish and blah, 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 like those kind of things is what he said. I said, oh, all right, like, I'm not saying that's wrong. That's just what your answer is. I said, but that's not my answer. My answer is love, right? The true test of a man or any person is your ability to love and to be loved and to spread love throughout the world. And that's what I want to do. And this is the vehicle I use to do that. By having people have miracles, by have them being well, is the way I can spread love and happiness and elation to more people, to allow them to feel the way that I get to feel every single day. So thank you so much for joining me today on the Miracle Academy podcast. And this is your host, Scotty Cooper, and this is where miracles are expected. Thank you.